Tonight, the city of Rochester is responding to yet another use of police force, this time resulting in one man's death.
Police responded to a call for a man with a knife and wound up shooting him early this morning. The man died later at the hospital. We listen into the scene as it unfolded.
I've located that individual. He is holding a butcher knife. He is actively cutting himself. He is still advancing on us with a knife. We are trying to back up the area. Taser effort, that'd be helpful. 91, I'm here with the beanbag gun. Shots fired. Males down.
We have team coverage tonight, including Kayla Green, who spoke to local activist group about the RPD's response. First, though, let's begin with Christian Garzone. Christian, what happened here?
Well, Maureen, the police chief here expressing her condolences to the family of the man who died. The mayor saying the body camera footage is hard to watch, but she stands with the police chief and her team right now. This also brings up the discussion of non-lethal or mental health crisis response. But as you'll hear, the chief says time this morning was not on their side. Police Chief Cynthia Harriet Sullivan says with the shooting death this morning in front of the Open Door Mission, officers retreated over 400 feet from the man as he was following them with a knife, making threats, asking police to shoot him and threatening to kill them.
It was within several minutes that this whole incident took place. So.
The city says in the body cam video, the man gets within 6 to 7 feet away from one RPD officer before charging at him with a knife. That is when that officer shot the man and he fell to the ground. He was pronounced dead shortly thereafter at Strong.
Obviously, using that sort of force should be the last option.
She says other resources were phoned in, but the time frame this all occurred in didn't allow for that.
There was a point during the investigation when officers did call for other resources such as our beanbag gun and for taser deployments.
And I don't expect anyone that sees these videos to ever be okay with that.
The mayor saying watching the body cam video breaks her heart, but she is not going to ask the community to understand police choices she says she does not fully understand yet.
I'm asking you to trust her, to trust her team, to evaluate, to research and review.
Now, when it comes to the release of those body cam videos, we're told they will not be released tonight. We're told that is pending a jurisdiction decision with the DA and Attorney General's offices to figure out who handles the case. In Rochester, Christian Garzone, News 8. Etta Marine, back to you.
All right, Christian, thank you. The officer involved in this shooting has been placed on administrative leave per protocol. This shooting follows a string of incidents that have drawn attention, some of it national, to the Rochester Police Department. In way of review, we put together this timeline. The officer's encounter with Daniel Prude happened nearly a year ago on March 23rd. He died a week later. The incident made public along with body cam video in September. No officers involved will face charges. On January 29th, a 9-year-old girl was pepper sprayed by officers after they responded to a family dispute on Harris Street. Less than a month later, another incident on February 22nd. A mother was pepper sprayed by officers in front of her 3-year-old daughter on Portland Avenue. The Police Accountability Board saying she had been suspected of shoplifting. The PAB saying today it cannot comment on last night's shooting, but added it might raise similar questions to those raised by those other incidents. Now, it's not just the PAB talking about the shooting today. Several social justice groups are sending out messages saying it was avoidable. Our team coverage continues now with Kayla Green, who's live at the Open Door Mission with more. Kayla.
Adam, I talked to City Council member Malik Evans, and he says the most important thing right now is to figure out exactly what happened here and get those facts out to the community. Now, he says several members of City Council have already had the opportunity to view the body camera footage from this morning's incident, and the Police Accountability Board, among other local groups, are calling for the release of that footage to the public tonight. City Council member Malik Evans says he has questions as to why the teams created to respond to mental health calls weren't called in this situation.
What happened in this instance? I mean, how does fit or pick fit into this conversation? Were they called? Were they not? Why? What happened? I think those are all things and part of an investigation in the investigation.
The Police Accountability Board put out a statement today also mentioning the PIC team. They say the PAB cannot comment on what we have not seen. However, this latest incident may raise the same questions our community has been asking for months about officer training, RPD culture, and the person in crisis team. The Community Justice Initiative is demanding improvement of the PIC team, the firing of the officers involved, non-lethal force training, and reallocations of RPD's budget.
And it's sad to say that we're becoming numb to this because it's a reoccurring thing in our community, in our backyard. It doesn't need reformation. It needs to be dismantled. The system is doing exactly what it's designed to do.
Free the People Rock also released a statement today calling out Evans and other council members and leaders for refusing to act sooner. They say their inaction caused the senseless murder of yet another of our most vulnerable citizens last night. Responsibility for his death falls squarely on the shoulders of Mayor Lovely Warren, Chief Cynthia Harriet Sullivan, and city council members who voted for the police budget. And a statement from the Rochester Police Locust Club did just come into our inbox, so I'm going to read that for you now. They say a sudden loss of life should only be seen for what it ultimately is, a tragedy. We ask the community to recognize the challenging place that our members found themselves in. Despite their best efforts in a very difficult and dangerous encounter, a life was lost. We ask the public to keep all involved in their thoughts and prayers. We also ask that patience and judgment be reserved while the investigation into this incident goes forward. And the Community Justice Initiative is also planning a protest in response to last week's pepper spray incident. That will be tomorrow, and a Stop the Violence protest is planned for Saturday. Live in Rochester, Kayla Green, News 8.